Welcome to my channel, Unicorns. Today we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, colorism, but colorism specifically in cartoons, sitcoms, and Black television. This video is going to be a bit long, triggering, and a little bit emotional. So girl, get something to eat, get comfortable, because we about to get into it. Okay? Now we know that colorism is real. And it's very evident when we watch certain music videos, when we hear certain rap lyrics, and even when we see who gets to be successful within the music industry and the beauty industry. But have we taken a close enough look at the television industry? If we take a closer look at many of our favorite iconic staple Black shows, we would find that there are stereotypical and colorist characters who propel this idea that light skin is the right skin. Number one on the list is The Proud Family. Now, The Proud Family was one of my favorite shows growing up. I could not get enough of you and me will always be tied, a family every single day and night. Yeah, girl, I got a little bit of vocals. Anywho, okay. The Proud Family is an animated sitcom that ran on Disney Channel from 2001 to 2005. Penny Proud was the main character. She was a 14-year-old girl played by Kyla Pratt. Her characteristics are listed as she listens and respects her parents. She usually is the mediator when issues arise within her friendships. She's a straight-A student, and she is a poet. Dejanay Jones is Penny Proud's best friend. Her characteristics are selfish, untrustworthy. She's a gossiper and often gets Penny into trouble. She's the loud, aggressive ghetto girl that no one wants romantically.
Hey, I'm not nervous anymore.
Told you, Penny. She touches me, I'm out of here.
There has also been episodes where Dejanay's siblings made appearances. You know, she has 9 siblings, little baby kids that's always chewing on something, pulling somebody's hair. You know, just very mischievous, unkept, barely clothed. Like, they just look like they don't get no love. I'm sorry. It's a stereotypical hood, ratchet, poor, dark-skinned family. Now, I want to take you guys' attention to an episode where Dejanay finally has a skill. She finally has a talent other than trying to get her love interest, who has no interest in her.
There's no space anywhere. Little brothers and little sisters all about. I want to scream. I want to shout. Get out of my face. I love you all. But I need my space.
Dejanay Jones.
You guys, this is the only episode that I can remember where Dejanay got celebrated for her talents. And also one of the only episodes where I can recall Penny Proud being jealous of Dejanay and the attention that she was getting.
Like you? They loved you. You were amazing. What did you think, Penny? I wasn't good unless you think so. I think I've been played.
You know what? These writers and these producers, like, they know what they're doing, okay? They know exactly what they're doing. This is not a drill, people. Dejanay is the dark-skinned friend that needs validation from her light-skinned friend because her light-skinned friend is good at everything. The boys like her. She's smart. People listen to her. And the one moment she needs validation, she doesn't get it. I also want to add La Cienega Boulevardes to this web here. She is Penny Proud's frenemy. It's kind of weird. It's like you're always around, but you don't like me. I could be reaching, but I want to say she's an Afro-Latina. I mean, I know she's a Latina, but I want to say she's Afro-Latina. Like, if you look at her dad and her mom has darker skin and more, I guess, Negroid features, and she kind of has darker skin and Negroid features. Like, she looks like her mom. We know that colorism is just as bad in the Latin community as it is in every other community. But yeah, La Cienega, she's Penny's frenemy. She's the most popular girl. She's the most beautiful girl. She's very snobbish. She's very vain and obnoxious. Even though she tries to convince her parents otherwise, she's definitely the spicy Latina. Now, with the exception of Dejanay being like extremely loud and boisterous, I really feel like La Cienega and Dejanay are the same character in a different race, in a different skin tone. Yet one is seen as the most beautiful girl in the school, the most desired girl in the school, and one is seen as nobody wants you, you're aggressive, you have no talent, and when you do have a talent, I'm not going to be your friend because you're not supposed to have a talent. I'm not sure if the Gross sisters plays into colorism because they're not blue because they're black. They're blue because they're ashy.
The Gross sisters. The three big ashy girls.
This one comes as no surprise, My Wife and Kids. So My Wife and Kids was a sitcom that ran on ABC from 2001 to 2005, starring Damon Wayans as Michael Kyle, the patriarch of the family with a wife, 2 daughters, and a son. Claire was the oldest daughter and was played by Jazz Ray Cole in season 1. That's the girl on the left. Her character was a friendly preteen who went through typical growing pains. But by season 2, we saw a completely new Claire. Jennifer Freeman replaced Jazz Ray Cole in season 2, and Claire went from a 12-year-old to a 14-year-old, and her personality noticeably changed as well. The new Claire was airheaded, naive, very desirable, ditzy, and harmless. Now, I did read somewhere that Jazz Ray Cole, her mom, was actually the one that took her out of the show. However, I just think they could have kept the same momentum. Like, you already had a dark-skinned girl, like why not get another dark-skinned girl? But let's be honest, there is a trend of black families in the media. You know, you have the light-skinned mom, you have the brown or dark-skinned dad, you have the 2 ambiguous daughters, and the unambiguous son. Like, that's usually the equation. Now, speaking of swiping out dark skins for light skins, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air aired originally on ABC from 1990 to 1996. So we have Vivian Banks, who is the wife, was played by Janet Witten and Daphne Reed. Once again, very obvious character and personality changes. Dark skin on Viv was what you call a strong black woman. In a good way, because I know some people think being a strong black woman is not a good thing, but she was a strong black mom in a good way. She was very active in educating her children. Dark skin Aunt Viv just had this air about her where she was not to be fucked with, okay? But she was still personable at the same time. In my opinion, light skin Aunt Viv, she seemed more, she didn't have that same oomph that dark skin Aunt Viv had, and I don't think it's because she's light skinned. They probably wanted someone who had less oomph, you know what I'm trying to say? And also what I heard was behind the scenes, dark skin Aunt Viv, she was a little diva, so they definitely wanted someone who could get along with the cast more, someone I guess who was nicer, you know. But once again, why not keep the same momentum? You have this iconic dark-skinned mom. Why not keep the same momentum? So now we have Miss Hilary Banks. Hilary was known for being bougie, airheaded, fashionable, and desirable to most men. So she was the stereotypical TV light-skinned daughter. We're living single in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl. Keep your head on what? I know a lot of y'all on here is real young and y'all probably don't know half of these shows. But listen, you know, the media is not perfect. Like, look at the media that we have today, right? The shit ain't perfect. So I don't want y'all to not watch these shows. Some of these shows have really great messages about black family, etc., etc. But you know, just like in today's media, some of the shit is colorist. Living Single aired for 5 seasons on Fox from 1993 to 1998. Where all my 90s babies at? The show centered on the lives of 6 friends who share personal and professional experiences living in Brooklyn. And I tell y'all, I love Living Single and I still watch it to this day. I mean it. So we have Max, who is the dark-skinned character, and she is the stereotypical dark-skinned character. She's always at the house, uninvited most of the time, eating up everybody's food, sticking in her opinion where nobody asks for it, you know, really aggressive with the guys. Regine Hunter, who's played by Kim Fields, and she's a stereotypical light-skinned character. She's the bougie friend, she's fashion-forward, and she's obsessed with men. The Steve Harvey Show is a sitcom that aired on the WB from 1996 to 2002. Wendy Raquel Robinson played Regina Greer, who was the principal of the school. She was sexy, educated, independent, and desired by every man, especially Steve.
Are you busy tonight?
Well, the super's coming over to fix my dishwasher. What'd you have in mind?
Look, I need help with the school newsletter.
Look at you making excuses to come kick it over at my crib.
Y'all, I read a meme somewhere that said Lovita Alize Jenkins Robinson crawled so that Tiffany Haddish and Cardi B could walk. And that is the most accurate thing I read all year. Now, in my opinion, Lovita Alizé Jenkins Robinson, she's not necessarily dark skinned. I feel like she's more brown, but we can all acknowledge that a lot of times brown skinned women do get lumped in with dark skinned women, especially when there are lighter skinned and biracial and white passing women around. She would automatically be the dark skinned girl.
I'm a step ahead of you, Miss Greer. I already made out a list of names of people I think we can afford. Let's see. Parker Jr., the Silvers, Lisa from Kojam. She go to my church.
That's okay, Levita. None of those acts are necessary.
You just a ghetto internet, aren't you?
You gonna get your little groove on, but you just remember where your bread is buttered.
Wait a minute. You know something? Sure like the way you say the word buddy.
Lovita Alizé Jenkins Robinson was the secretary to Regina Greer. She was loud, ghetto, inappropriate for the workplace, and honestly, she really did crawl so that Tiffany Haddish and Cardi B could walk. Coming to America was one of my favorite movies of all time. Coming to America aired in 1988. It was a romantic comedy starring Eddie Murphy. He was an African prince. He was looking for true love, and he ended up in Queens, New York, and found love at first sight with Lisa McDowell. Now, the first princess that his parents chose for him was a beautiful princess. She was dark-skinned. However, she did not have a mind of her own. She was raised to be his queen, therefore having no identity. Lisa McDowell, on the other hand, was quite the opposite. She was charitable, she was kind, she was friendly, she was polite and desirable, and she stood for what she believed in. Patrice McDowell was Lisa's younger sister, and she, again, was a dark-skinned girl that was opposite of Lisa, okay? She was the little thotty little sister. She was seen as a gold digger. She had no loyalty to her older sister. She was hypersexual AF. She was just a mess. I'm sorry. Like, where did this girl come from? Last but certainly not least, we have Martin. Martin was a sitcom that aired for 5 seasons on Fox from 1992 to 1997. Martin was one of the network's highest rated shows during its run. Tisha Campbell played Regina, aka Gina Payne, who was Martin's girlfriend and later became Martin's wife. Her characteristics were the peacemaker, she's the logical one, she breaks up the fights, she has a good job, she's a good girlfriend to Martin. Now, Tachina Arnold played Pamela, aka Pam James, and she is described as sassy. She's Gina's best friend, she's boisterous, she's always looking for a man, she's always the butt of Martin jokes. And the thing is, Martin did a lot of improv, so a lot of the jokes, they weren't written, it wasn't something that he had to rehearse and read from a script. These were his own jokes, and oftentimes he would refer to Pam as a dog, a beast, nappy headed, a breath stank, she can't get a man, she can't keep a job. I mean, honestly, I feel like Pam got it the worst out of all the stereotypical dark-skinned best friends. She got it the worst from Martin because he was good at it. He was good at it. Now, I do want to point out some shows that I feel like, in my opinion, were a bit more balanced and really went against the grain when it came to Black stereotypical families and Black stereotypical television. I feel like Family Matters did not perpetuate colorism, maybe because majority of the family was brown and dark skinned, but you did have Myra, rest in peace to Myra. You did have Myra, who was light skinned, and this is one of the first and few times where you do see the light skinned character is not the token character. She's not the desired girl. She's not the epitome of beauty. Light-skinned girls can be nerdy. Light-skinned girls can be undesirable as well. Light-skinned girls don't have to be airheaded. And, well, I think she was a little airheaded, but you know what I'm trying to say. She wasn't like, oh my God, I just want to shop all day. Little Bill was also very balanced. You saw dark-skinned little girls with 4C hair. His mom was dark-skinned, and she was very gentle and very loving and very kind. Now, some of you guys in the community tab said that Girlfriends was colorist, but in my opinion, okay, I feel like Girlfriends was pretty balanced. I feel like it was pretty balanced. The characteristics were pretty balanced. And I feel like it was just a little bit different from the stereotypical, okay, light-skinned girl good, dark-skinned girl bad, light-skinned girl gets man, dark-skinned girl gets shitted on. Like, it was different from that narrative. Toni was the darkest girl and she was the bougie girl. She had a great job. She had a great body. Men loved her and desired her, you know. She was bougie as fuck though, okay? So then you have the biracial who's half white. She's very much like a hippie. She was homeless at one point. She doesn't really know whether she's going or coming. That's another narrative that we've never really seen. Amaya, we've seen the Lovita Alizé Jenkins. You know, she definitely did the Lovita thing. Then you have Joan, who is Tracy Ellis Ross, who is actually mixed race, but they all pretty much play black women on the show. But Joan, you know, she's trying to get her life together. She has her coin, she has her crib, she's just trying to get a man. So I feel like the show was really balanced, and I personally love Girlfriends. But in conclusion, you know, as you can see, in most black media, we do tend to be very stereotypical. We do tend to perpetuate colorism, painting light-skinned women as one specific character and dark-skinned women as one specific character. And it's just played out, it's corny, it's been done. Now you guys are free to let me know how you feel about this. Do you feel like this was a read? You know, is this a surprise to you? I know a lot of these were a surprise to me. Can you name some examples of shows that were actually balanced down in the comments section? Thumbs up this video, subscribe so that you're aware of some amazing content coming your way, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.